First at 4, the bargaining and the bluster are all in full swing between the UAW and Detroit automakers. We are 1 week away from a possible strike. Where things stand right now. The Detroit Lions on the prowl, looking for an upset at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Bernie Smilovich sets the scene for a huge season opener. Hey there, Kim.
Hey, Karen. Well, we've got a lot of clouds this afternoon and a few showers on Exact Track 40 radar. But the big question everyone seems to be asking is, when is the humidity going away? I'll have those answers in minutes.
50 years teaching and no end in sight?
What they give me is more than anything I've ever been able to give them.
We've got a teacher story you have got to hear.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we are tracking the proposals, the posturing, and another photo op for the UAW as a strike deadline inches closer and closer. Union members and supportive political leaders gathered at the Stellantis engine plant in Trenton just a short time ago. Union President Shawn Fain is negotiating with Stellantis, Ford, and General Motors. This was a show of force, and speakers rallied the rank and file, including a fired-up Congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib, who talked about sacrifices of the past.
You would not exist or be afloat but for the fact that in 2009 they closed plants, you sacrificed, they created tears.
We got some long days ahead, right? Especially if we go on strike. But we're here, and we're here for the long haul.
Fain has made it clear he plans to strike any or all of the Detroit automakers if new deals are not on place when their contracts expire. The contracts with all 3 automakers expire just before noon next Thursday, September 14th. Earlier today, GM offered a 10% wage increase to most of its UAW workers. Fain called the offer a, quote, insulting proposal that does not come close to an equitable agreement for America's auto workers. The UAW is trying to claw back concessions given during bankruptcies and recessions, including a 46% pay increase and other perks like a 32-hour work week. Rob Maloney is monitoring all the negotiations and will have a live update on Local 4 News at 5. We've got breaking news from Michigan State Police about the search for a man who shot up and burned patrol vehicles. We showed you these images yesterday from Sault Ste. Marie. Late today, the police say they have taken a suspect into custody. Nobody was hurt in the incident. We'll have more information as it becomes available. East Point police are asking residents to see if they might recognize a man arrested for breaking and entering. 43-year-old Jason Wilson was arrested on September 1st. East Point police say he is a suspect in numerous thefts in the city, stealing packages off of porches, from yards, also from garages. If any homeowners have camera footage of Wilson, police want to see it. If you've been a victim, they encourage you to file a report. Wilson's bond was set at $20,000 cash. Former Macomb County prosecutor Judge Carl Marlinga is hoping for another chance to challenge Republican Congressman John James. Democrats have their sights on flipping the seat in Michigan's 10th district. James barely beat Marlinga in 2022, helping Republicans gain a slim majority in the House of Representatives. First, Marlinga will have to make it through a Democratic primary. This will be a race both parties are going to watch really closely. NFL season kicks off in, just about 4 hours. And the Detroit Lions are sharing the national spotlight. They are facing off against the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. You're looking live at Arrowhead Stadium. The Lions are underdogs, but plenty of people in Detroit believe in the chances for an upset. Bernie Smilovich with the preview.
Hey, Karen, here at Arrowhead Stadium, this is the latest we know on tight end Travis Kelce. They're going to try him out in pregame warm-ups and see how he reacts. Then the team trainer and doctor will make a decision on whether he plays in this game or not. It's been determined he has a bone bruise on his knee, so it's whether he can withstand that. Also, remember, after tonight, the Chiefs still have 16 games left, so they may not want to use him for game 1. Possibly. The line has now moved to 5.5. Chiefs are favored. Lions, Chiefs, 8:20 here on Local 4. Pregame at 6:30. Karen, we'll see you then.
All right, looking forward to it, Bernie. And Bernie, Jamie Edmonds, and the entire Local 4 team are all in for the Lions pregame show tonight at 6:30 right here on Local 4. The big game, as Bernie said, kicks off just after 8. Then stick around for our local post-game coverage and a late edition of Local 4 News at 11. Here at home, some of you are seeing some rain showers today. We're also still feeling that humidity out there. Meteorologist Kim Adams is standing by with your first forecast. And how are things looking for tonight?
Well, it really depends on where you live. There are just a couple of pop-up showers, but the majority of Metro Detroit is dry. We've had a few in parts of Oakland and Macomb County. We just had one little area of rain that I'll zoom in for you here. Just came through. It's between Riverview and Ecorse right now. And then there are a couple more showers as we head over into parts of Monroe County. Nothing big, no severe weather like we had last night in Monroe County, but just a couple quick downpours. The rest of Metro Detroit is dry, but oh, it's so humid. Temperatures are only in the low to mid 70s in most spots, even the upper 60s up into the thumb, but it feels a little bit warmer because the air's a little thick, and that mugginess is going to stick around for the day tomorrow as our high reaches 72 degrees, but there's a big cool down when we look to the future forecast. I'll tell you about that in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Kim. President Joe Biden is scheduled to leave the White House within the hour to fly to Germany on his way to the G20 summit in India. So far, there's no sign COVID will interfere with this trip. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is dealing with a mild case of COVID-19. She did test positive on Monday, but the president has been testing negative. If anything changes, of course, we'll let you know. The American job market continues to defy expectations in spite of higher interest rates designed to cool it down. The number of people applying for unemployment benefits fell by 13,000 for the week ending September 2nd. That's the lowest level in 7 months. Claims have risen since the beginning of the year, but have been hovering around the 2019 average for several months. It's one more factor everyone is watching as we wait to see if the Fed will continue to raise interest rates. As you look at this local teacher, I want you to think about how many jobs last for 5 decades. When Vicki Stringer started teaching, Richard Nixon was president. She just returned to the classroom, though, again this week, sat down with our Paula Tutman to talk about teaching and learning for 50 years.
Let's put this in context for you. Nixon was president. There was no such thing as a cell phone. The wall clock had a big hand as well as the little hand. And that teacher right there, well, she was a youngin'.
Isn't that a catchy title?
Her name is Vicki Stringer.
When I first started teaching, it was a 3rd grade classroom, and I looked 14.
Kathy is a fellow teacher at Lake Orion High School. And when she was a kindergartner, Vicki Stringer was the kindergarten teacher next door.
Stringy has literally taught so many different ages and so many different subjects. So she was a kindergarten teacher when I was a student there. She was my sister's 4th grade teacher.
We're a village, and we all explore literature together.
I don't know. I mean, like, that's more than, it's about like triple my age, so I can't even like, I don't know. I can't even just like imagine doing like a career for that long.
I don't feel old, and I don't feel like there's nothing that I have to offer now. I feel like I have more to offer now than I did, say, 20 years ago. You'll know the metaphors, similes, and all of that.
50 years in one district, the Lake Orion Community Schools.
I want you to choose just one of the poems in this packet, one that speaks to you.
She does have concerns about the state of education in places that matter, including the banning of books, subject matter, and efforts to revise history just because some people don't like it.
It's incredibly dangerous because if children are not taught the truth, all sides of the truth, because there are all sides of the truth, if they're not given all of that, how can they formulate their ideas about who they are, where they exist in a community?
But in the Lake Orion School District, she certainly plans to be around for a while longer. In fact, she invites others to join her because when it comes to the venerable job of teaching, she would say, come on, jump in. The water's great.
Teaching is about the best thing I could ever imagine that anybody could do. It is great. I feel like what I do with these kids that I have here is what they give me is more than anything I've ever been able to give them. Yeah, it's an amazing job.
Okay, I want to be very, very clear about this next point. I will have what she is having. She's absolutely amazing. I love that she's called Stringy. She loves it too, by the way. And Karen, in case you are wondering in terms of, oh, when is she going to retire? She's starting to think about it, but don't hold your breath.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. She's got so much energy. Paula, I love the part where she was talking about teaching all sides of the truth, letting kids really explore, and also the fact that you know, she thinks she has so much more to offer now than she did 20 years ago. I would agree, don't you?
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. And by the way, that is not an issue in the Lake Lake Orion School District, but she cares about all education, and that is one of the things that also sets her apart.
Most definitely. What a great story and a great teacher. Thanks, Paula, for bringing that to us.